I'm Kit, and this is Caleb.
And we're the Trophy Bros.
Welcome to our podcast.
Listen as we share our crazy,
Off the wall,
and oftentimes ridiculous thoughts.
enjoy the episode.
Well, welcome back to the Trophy Bros podcast, and we are going to be talking about back to school.
No fooling, back to schooling.
To show Daddy I'm no fool.
Yep, Billy Madison.
Greatest back to school movie of all time.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, man, what's the first thing that kind of pops back to when, I guess, your fondest school memory?
Fondest school memory. Man, it's just like going back to school is like, I don't know if it's a fond memory, but it's like going back to school shopping. I remember like going like Bugle Boy.
Yeah.
Bugle Boy, going to the outlet stores with my mom. Man, I hated it. It was like back to school shopping.
Yeah.
She drug me everywhere, and we went to like the Bugle Boy outlet store.
Yeah. We had Vanity Fair, the
Yeah.
VF outlet.
Yeah, I mean, for the longest time it was here. I remember we went to like something very similar, like it was like 2 hours away in like Sulphur Springs. I remember there's a Bugle Boy outlet. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's like that always awkward, like, let me see you try on those Bugle Boy pants.
Yes. Always an awkward thing. So my grandmother took us back to school shopping all the time. And it was just always an awkward, like, I could cinch those up for you if they're a little too big. You know? It's
Oh
just
man, I had the Husky. Got to get the Husky Bugle Boys.
yeah. So, yeah. But no, man, I loved, I loved school. Like, I had fun
Man, I
with
did.
it. I mean, you know, I know you hear a lot of people like, oh, I would never go back. Man, I think I would if I could.
Yeah.
I had so much fun. So, what year did you graduate?
And I was a 1999 Hallsville Bobcats. Hallsville Bobcats, number one.
Okay.
That was our little thing. Every time we were like at the football game and we were like we were down, we were like, Hallsville Bobcats, we're number one.
And you were down?
Like,
And you were,
like,
yelling, you're number
We're
one?
number one.
Well, we're losing?
Yeah. We're good. Like that would always get our guys back amped up. Like basketball game.
Yeah.
Hallsville Bobcats number one.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
like our senior year's like slogan was like, we're gonna party like it's 1999. The Prince theme.
Yeah. I love a good old Prince theme song.
Yeah, man, that's the way it
I mean,
was.
it fit perfect.
Yeah.
So,
He wrote it just for us,
sounds like it.
like 20 years before.
Before. Sounds like, I mean, he must have predicted the future just for
Yeah.
that moment.
Yeah.
But no, I was a 06 kid. So, graduated right here in Middle Wells High School.
Yeah. Go Rams.
Go Rams. And so, I don't remember our class slogan whatsoever.
Oh, ours was easy to remember.
Yeah. And so, but no, like I said, I had fun. So, but yeah.
So did y'all have like a crazy, like I remember you talking about you had like the bleacher creatures.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, it started sophomore year maybe or something like that. Is when our basketball team was really doing really well, making some deep runs in playoffs, and Coach Brown decided, you know, like we need our student section to just be rowdy, and so
Go bonkers.
yeah, and so he came up with his bleacher creatures, and I kind of took off with it and ran with it with them. I mean, we had shirts made. I mean, it was just
Dude.
like
I'm loving it.
a roared out ram, you know, just and
Is it based off of you? Loosely based off of you?
basically, yeah.
Huh.
But man, we had some chants. I mean, we had props, we had everything that you can think of, and it rattled some kids that were on the floor playing.
Or was it like the Moses splitting the Red Sea type
Almost,
people?
yeah. We had newspapers, and like so when they would do like the intros for the starting five, you know, everyone would pull the newspaper out and hide their faces, and when they would say their name, we pull it down, we're like, who? And just irritate the fire at them from the get go.
Yeah.
And I mean, and if we were winning, you know, everybody that had car keys, we'll pull them out and start chanting, "Start the bus," you know, with a minute left if we're winning. And man, it was so much fun.
Oh man, y'all just the obnoxious ones.
Oh
Huh?
yeah. It was so bad. Like
Get some class, people.
it was so bad that Carl Turner, the security guard that's still at the high school, would have to get the valet rope things, you know,
Yeah.
and like put it back so far from the rail because of the fire safety hazard. and like we couldn't pass that. I mean, but literally, I mean, if there was a fire, we probably would have been screwed because, I mean, you know what the student section is now, right?
Yeah.
You talk 3/4 of the way, and it's just people nonstop. There, nobody's sitting down,
Yeah.
and it's just bonkers. Have you ever seen Michigan, like their student section at Michigan U? And dude, like they did a like a documentary almost kind of. It's a very short thing, but like when their student section starts jumping, the cameraman went down on the floor and set his camera there, and the floor is literally moving every time the student section jumps.
Yeah.
Could you imagine standing on that or trying to play and break your own ankles? I mean, it was insane, but yeah.
Dude, that's sketchy stuff.
But no, that was probably
I love it. I love it when the crowd can manipulate a game.
Yeah. And of course, you know, at that time, it like, I guess other schools kind of realized what was happening, so they were kind of they would try to form a student section.
Yeah.
I mean, because Coach Brown made it to where we had a bus for the bleacher creatures to go to get out of town games. And dude, we were annihilate their student section when we were on the away games, dude. I remember we went to Stephenville one time. That was insane. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, now it's kind of like so cheesy. Like,
oh yeah, yeah.
It's like they just have like the same like rhythm, like blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Blah,
we can't
blah,
hear
blah,
you.
blah.
That's all I ever hear.
Yeah.
We can't hear you. Or
Like-
scoreboard.
Like Jesus loves you.
Yeah, but
I'm
no.
like, goodness gracious.
So
Get a new chant.
did you ever have that like favorite back to school like outfit? That one year you're like, look at me, I'm so fly.
No, I'm not as into outfits as you are.
Oh, dude.
But dude, if I got a new set of sneakers, like I would I would sport my sneakers. Like I was really particular about my shoes.
I still am. I like loud shoes. I just like to me, I mean, that's I hate to say it like this, but I judge a man by their shoes. And so I look at their shoes. The first thing I look at when I see somebody, and I know that's no way to judge a person, but it's just like, to me, it kind of speaks about their demeanor, I guess. I mean, if it's got loud shoes, maybe they got a loud personality. And so to me, but yeah, I love loud shoes. I remember in second grade, I had a pair of shoes. I thought I was the coolest cat because, you know, you always had to walk down the hallways, right? Yeah. Well, my shoes had like the red lights basically. Yeah. And it's like when I would stop, it would shine, a red stop sign would show on the back of my shoes. And when I would go, the green light would start beeping.
Do you ever have like the LA gear, like the LA lights?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the kind that would actually you could take in and out?
Yeah.
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 I always wanted a pair of those. Yeah. My friend had a pair of them. I never did.
But now I'm like, I tell my kids all the time, I was like, you can't have light up shoes. Those are dumb.
Yeah, they are now. Like all the little kids' shoes have them now.
Yeah.
But I remember when they first came out, they were cool. Like I always wanted I wanted a pair of Jordans, but not like the super cheesy, like. Yeah. Like I wanted a pair of good ones. Like I had a pair of Reggie Millers. Yeah. But like my parents wouldn't buy them for me. I had to like earn them. Like I had to work real hard to get them. It was super, like I had to earn my money and save it up to get them. But
oh yeah, for sure. I was always a big AI guy. I like the Iverson shoes a lot. So what was your favorite subject in school way back?
Man, I was good at math, but I mean, it's not very practical, like a whole lot of practicality for what I do now. I mean, I do budgets and stuff like that, but like I love geometry, like all the different angles and stuff like that. And I wasn't much of a science guy, which really kind of broke my dad's heart because he's a chemical engineer and I sucked at chemistry. Like I think my chemistry teacher in high school like had mercy on me. She knew my dad was a chemical engineer, and I think I really failed that class. But I think she passed me with like a 69.5.
And had to round up to the 70 mark. Yeah,
yeah, I think she did. And man, she was a sweetheart. But man, periodic table. Man,
that was always rough.
Man,
no, but same. I always loved math. Math always is easy for me. Math comes second. I love numbers. It's just easy for me. But you know, like you said, there's some other subjects that I just care less for, and it's just but I always had coaches for math.
Yeah.
And so if I didn't understand, they would always break it down to where it was a lot simpler to understand.
Yeah.
They would put it in a form that I could, and I just always appreciated that. And so, that's kind of where I struggle with like my kids and their math homework is that now they're teaching in some idiotic ways to me. And so I was like,
The Common Core.
Yeah, like the Japanese multiplication table. I'm like, what?
Now, when I went to college, I had a professor that I took finite math, in which I had a lot of classmates that really struggled with finite math, and I'm like, why? And then I realized I had a professor that taught finite math like I was an idiot.
Yeah,
and she, I didn't realize it, but she talked to me and taught to me like I was an idiot. Which, man, I'm like,
sometimes you got to, right?
I'm so thankful she did, because
I get that point across.
I got it. And it was so easy.
Yeah.
And I got like a high A in that class, and I'm like, why are you guys struggling with finite math?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's easy.
Yeah.
Like, take this professor. She will talk to you like you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And it's good. But it was, math to me was easy. I say easy. It wasn't super easy. It was hard and challenging, and I liked it in that way. I took trigonometry, and I took a guy in high school my senior year, my last semester, and people thought I was an idiot for taking it. But that teacher was like a college professor, which I'm so glad I took him, because it prepared me for college.
Yeah.
And he was hard, and he was very strict in the way that he did it. But man, he really, truly prepared me for my college career, and how to actually have a professor in college.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I remember like English and history. English was probably my second favorite, I guess you could say, if it was a favorite. But I don't know if I would say it's probably like my least favorite, I guess you could say.
Right.
But as I've gotten older, I like English. Man, I kind of have to, because I read a lot and do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'm just now kind of getting to that point where I like to read on a regular basis.
English and history are kind of the things that are kind of required of my, my job.
Yeah.
A big thing about that.
Yeah. So I know, from when we went, I mean, you're older than I am, but
yeah, rub that in.
But even when I went to school, it's so much different from when our children are having to go through now. Yeah. And like one of the things that I noticed, like, in fifth grade, I had a teacher named Miss Cox. Loved her to death. Great math and science teacher. But we had classroom pets.
Oh yeah.
We had gerbils. We had a rabbit, or like a satin rabbit that was gray. We had a hedgehog. She had classroom pets. And the thing was, she also taught life stuff, like responsibility and how to take care of things.
Did you get to take it home?
And we had to take them home on the weekends.
Yeah.
Like, we had a class drawing every Friday, and if your name was drawn and your parents signed that consent form saying that it was okay for you to bring home an animal, that you had to take it home and take care of it. And, you don't see that anymore whatsoever. I remember the first time I walked out with that hedgehog, and my mom was like, I thought it was like a gerbil or a hamster, And so, but yeah, we had like the old welding gloves, that we had to hold the hedgehog with.
Yeah.
It wasn't just.
I've never held a hedgehog. Like, is it like legit? Like, can you not
like
hold
spikes?
Like, are they like dangerous spike? Like a porcupine?
No, but it just doesn't feel good to hold a bunch of spikes in your hand.
Well, I kind of know if it was like spiky, like go through your skin.
Well, I don't know if it would, but it was just more of a precaution thing, I guess. But I'm just saying, none of that stuff's there anymore. It's all, by the book. And
did anybody kill the class pet?
We had one gerbil died. Because
at somebody's home?
Yeah, when you took the gerbil, because their dog got a hold of it.
Yeah.
So
I feel like if a hedgehog...
That was pretty rough. Because the whole class was like, hey, whatever his name died. So... But yeah,
that kid got blackballed.
Yeah. he needs to leave our class forever. But no, like I said, it's just, I mean, to me, the school has changed so much to where it's strictly by the book, and it's not. You're not learning life skills. You're not. I mean, I know that they are in some aspect of it.
What would be like the worst class pet?
The worst class,
Like
pet.
a snake?
Yeah, absolutely. Or a spider or tarantula.
Huh?
I'm not a big reptile guy.
I know.
The only
like
good
snakes.
the only good snake is a
Pet
dead
turtle.
snake.
Yeah, chopped up. I
Yeah.
noticed that. Like when I went over to help you clear that your land when we
Oh.
first moved out there, I killed that
Yeah.
rattlesnake for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
let's
We ain't
see.
have to worry about that since we got cats, so
Yeah.
so it's all good.
I think a cat would be probably a bad classroom pet too.
I don't know. They clean themselves, so
Yeah,
I
but-
don't know how that would be too bad. But
Let's see.
was there an elementary teacher that just really kind of stuck out?
I like
Elementary.
Elementary.
We're going to break it up between elementary and
like
junior high and high
is
school.
fourth grade considered elementary?
That is here.
Okay.
I mean,
I had a
all the way
fourth.
up to sixth grade here is elementary. So.
Well, my first grade teacher I liked, but
you liked?
I liked. Well, I liked her.
but
I liked her a lot. I mean, she was a Stroud. I liked her a lot. She reminded me of my nanny. But Miss Rodriguez, my fourth grade teacher, I liked her because I think it was every Friday we had, like, if you were good and you had good, like, it's like they do red marks and green and all that kind of. If you were good, like, she was kind of a heavy lady.
yeah.
But if
They're
you're
always the best ones, though, man. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
if you were good, she treated you right.
Yeah.
Like, she got you like little Debbie's. We had a party. You got good Kool-Aid. You got like a plate full of little Debbie's. Like, it wasn't just one or two. It was like all
Those
kinds
fudge
of little
rounds,
Debbie.
huh?
Little Debbie's.
What was your favorite little Debbie back
Like, you got Star Crunches.
Star
you
Crunch,
got
huh?
fudge rounds. You got zebra cakes. I mean, you got
Just a
Christmas
platter,
trees.
huh?
Yes, it was everything. But if you got in trouble, you got sitting down the hall to another class. You didn't get to participate
in the party?
in the party,
Man,
and
that's rough.
you missed out on the Kool-Aid, the cheese balls, and little Debbie's galore.
That's pretty sweet.
So, Miss Rodriguez, if you're listening, which I doubt you are, shout out,
Yeah.
little Debbie.
No, I had Miss Cromines. I really looked up to her.
I liked all my teachers. I'm just going to say that.
That was my first grade teacher. And that's when, I've said a couple of podcasts now that, we were in a terrible car accident in 94, and that's when I was in first grade. And she just really kind of walked me through that whole trauma in that time of my life. And so I just can't thank her enough for that. But, I mean, like you, I've never had a really big problem with any of my teachers. They've all been some form or fashion inspiration, and it's, yeah. So, but there's got to be a high school coach, teacher, or somebody that stuck out to you.
Are we going straight to high school or junior high?
Oh, we can do junior high. Sorry. Jeez.
Do you have a junior high?
I do.
Go for
And
it.
he's still around, and I talk to him on a regular basis. That's Kyle Coker, Coach Coker.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and it's funny now is that like his daughter and my daughter are best friends, and so, but no, I looked up to him, man. He just he really poured into me as a athlete, and he wanted me to be better every single day I left the field. And, that just struck a chord with me. And, I think that's kind of what propelled me to be before I got sidelined with my back injury. But, just him pushing me so hard and, and seeing that in me when at times I didn't, And so, yeah, Coach Coker, absolutely.
Yeah.
Junior high.
Do you have one that's not a coach, though?
That's not a coach. Yeah. I know it's still, it's, I would have to say Miss Forehand. She was my choir director, and she just, like, you couldn't have a bad attitude in her class. Like, if something was wrong, you had to check it at the door, and
You had to sing it out?
and yeah, basically. But she made you check yourself and keep yourself in check, and so
Sing a song about it?
yeah, sing a song, do re mi.
Mm.
But yeah,
I had a coach, too. Like, Coach Turner was my football coach in junior high. That was... Like, he went to church with me too, and so I loved him. He had a phenomenal singing voice, but I guess he's like my coach and choir guy.
There you go,
all in one.
All in one.
But no, man, he was a hoot. I remember like he was one of those guys taught you the ultimate tuck. Like
Yeah.
he'd teach you how to tuck your shirt into your underwear. That way, if you ever had an accident and didn't ruin your underwear, it just pooped in your shirt, you could always take your shirt off. Oh man, he was one of those guys who was just so full. He was so energetic, so full of energy. I mean, and great Christian guy. I loved him to death. Oh man, he's just a hoot. I loved him. I mean, golly, man. And I love the fact that he just poured into all of his athletes, all of his students, and man, it was he not only his students and athletes, he poured into his other coaches as well.
Yeah.
And it was just so infectious. But I did have a math teacher. It was like in junior high, you're learning pre-algebra and stuff like that. Miss Northcutt, and she was the kind that was like people hated her just because she was so hard nosed. And I guess I like those kind of people who like push you so hard that they get the best out of you, and that's what I appreciated.
And it's like at the moment you're like, gosh, I really can't stand this teacher. Yeah. But now looking back, I got a couple of those too.
Yeah, and even then, I appreciated her then though too, because I didn't go to church with her then, but I knew she was a believer, and my parents knew her somewhat too. But I appreciated the discipline that she forced me to have.
Yeah.
And I don't know. To me, that's something that I've always appreciated and always needed and always wanted. Because I knew that I don't know. I feel like I'm a driven person in some regards.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that your high school or junior high?
That was in junior high.
Oh, okay. Well, high school. We'll move on to that one. I mean, I got two, and they're both coaches, and they were both teachers at the same time, and it's just. And I've talked about them numerous times. And it's Pat Brown and Chris Simmons. When I got sidelined with my scoliosis and all the rest of the football coaches were ready to kick me out. They kind of took me in and kept me around and just took me under their wings and kind of taught me the game of basketball the way it should be taught and played. And I still, I coach my kids the same way I'd seen them coach numerous athletes. And I mean, I credit a lot to my lifestyle now to them too.
Yeah.
And it's, Coach Brown was a firm believer. If you're going to do something, do it right, and don't halfway do it. I mean, do it to the fullest of your abilities. And that's just how I try to look at everything in life as well. And it's just, like I said, I mean, they poured in to all of us, not just, like they didn't have favorites or anything like that. I mean, and I've said this numerous times that our basketball team, even with our JV, it's split up between your freshman, JV, and varsity. But even like with our JV and varsity, like we were a family.
Yeah.
I mean, we did everything together after football games, basketball games. We all went out to the Joneses, and we were there for the entire weekend together, just building that camaraderie and
brotherhood.
And like I said, I've said this 100 times already today. Is that I can still call some of those guys today, and and it's like we've never missed a beat, and it's because of those two guys instilling that into us, and so I mean, when I make friends, we're friends for life.
Yeah, they're your boy, they're your friend, they're your boyfriends.
Well,
yeah. For me, I have there's a guy by the name of Tommy Miller.
Tommy Miller.
Shout
out, Tommy.
Yeah, well, I wish I could shout out to him.
Oh, sorry.
Tommy Miller was a defensive coach. He was also a track coach, but he was also a history coach, history teacher. But man, he was a great guy. He was actually my Sunday school teacher my senior year. Went to the same church as I did. Had a son that was younger than me, a year younger than me, and a daughter a couple of years younger than me. Man, just an awesome, incredible guy. He's one of those guys, just wiry too. He's like, "Come on, puppy dog." I mean, just always, man. He's just everybody loved him, and just man, such a phenomenal guy. Just such an encouragement. Man, just love the Lord. Just he got cancer, and then passed away really quick. His son Corey actually works for the Cowboys and does a lot of their media stuff. And every time I see him on Facebook, his daughter on Facebook too, it's just they love their dad and just the legacy that Tommy Miller left. It goes far beyond just his kids and grandkids. It's a legacy that he left of those that he impacted. And just, man, it's so incredible to see people like that. And it's one of those things that I want to be like a Tommy Miller. Tommy Miller was my driver's ed teacher.
So you want to teach driver's ed?
Well, I mean, I will. Yeah. No, I don't want to drive. No, I don't even want to teach my daughter driver's ed.
Yeah.
But no, I remember riding in the car with Tommy, and I had a girl that was in my car too, and me and Tommy were just like petrified with this girl driving the car. I remember we were driving through a neighborhood. A cat walks out in the driveway, and this girl was so sketchy. Like, I kid you not, that cat just lays over in the yard. Like, I think it played dead.
Played dead.
Oh my gosh.
Huh.
That was back in the day when the passenger seat where Coach was had like the brake in it.
Yeah.
And the dealer, like we had Nissan Altimas, the Nissan dealership would loan us cars for like driver's ed.
Huh.
And we did it through the school.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Back in the day.
So is there, like we talked about these teachers or coaches or whatever, is there like a skill that they taught you that, like, not like life skill or anything, but like an actual like math or English equation that is like, you know what? Yeah, that's you've made that so simple. Because like for me, this is kind of where I'm going, is like, you know, in third grade when you're learning your multiplications and all that, it's like the like math facts, like they were just repeat it to where now like you throw out a multiplication, it's like simple that you can do in your head so fast. You know what I'm saying? You understand where I'm kind of
I know what
go
you're
with
saying.
the question?
I know what you're saying.
It's like Miss Weinhold, for example, was that for me. Like, she's like, you know, this is important. Like you will use some form of math in every single day life.
Yeah.
And that just really kind of stuck with me. And so I guess that's why I was like, you know what? Yeah. So maybe I should make math easy.
Yeah. So you're not 40 yet.
No, not yet.
Once I hit 40, that kind of stuff, I forget where I got some of my information.
I was just curious.
No, I remember.
Like I said, that just really kind of stuck with me.
No, I get it. Yeah.
You're going to use math in some, you know.
I'm sure I have. I just forgot the reference as to where I learned some of that stuff.
Okay.
I remember stupid stuff like Coach Turner gave me the ultimate tuck.
Yeah. I remember Coach Payne always called the girls little sweetie. Come here, little sweetie.
Yeah. Now,
and he's the only coach I can remember vividly making half court hook shots.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times.
Now Coach Miller, he's like, puppy dog.
Yeah.
He's like, you need to go over there and dope pop that sucker.
Dope pop that sucker.
Yeah. He's talking about being as a defensive player, you need to go dope pop it.
Yeah.
Go dope pop her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Get low and dope pop it. Yeah. Yeah, I remember stupid stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah,
I remember.
There's a lot of stupid
I
stuff.
will say this. I remember Miss Northcutt in algebra, pre-algebra. We were studying the hypotenuse.
Gosh.
And she broke it down. It was like an airplane. You're on an airplane. It's like when you're doing the hypotenuse, it's like you're using a high pot in use.
A high pot in use.
Yes, a high pot in use.
High pot in use.
Yeah, I remember her saying that.
Okay.
Is that what?
Yeah,
that?
something like that. Yeah, kind of.
I remember that.
Yeah,
high pot in use.
that's cool.
Hypotenuse.
It's like I said, that's just stuff that I always kind of.
That's what I remember. I remember that Miss Northcutt told us that she walked like 3 miles just inside her house every morning. She had like a route inside her house that she would walk.
3 miles inside your house?
Yeah, she had a 2-story house, and she had like a route that was just inside her house, going upstairs, walking through the bedroom.
So like she would do it on purpose. Like,
yeah.
I have to get my 3 miles in today.
Yeah. She'd wake up early.
That's crazy. So were you a stud in school?
Yeah,
Always dating people?
I wasn't dating people, but I was a stud. Like I had some girls.
Did you?
I mean, but I wasn't like a player or nothing. So I mean,
if you were to say how many girlfriends you had back then?
Like official girlfriends?
Yeah, let's do official.
I don't know, like in high school,
Yeah.
junior high together.
Yeah, if you want to, let's do it that way.
I probably only had like 4.
That's about saying. I think I had 3.
Yeah.
But then Katie's my 4th one.
Yeah, I think I had 4. I mean, I had girls that we were friends and we hung out.
Yeah.
That we just never like officially were boyfriend, girlfriend, stuff like that. I probably had 4 that we actually went on an official date and probably didn't last more than 2 weeks or anything like that. And typically the way that I operated is like if I didn't like them or
Peace.
I would make them mad because I didn't have a heart to break up with them.
Yeah.
And so I'd make them mad enough to where they would break up with me.
You always break up right before Valentine's?
Yeah.
That way you didn't have to buy nothing?
Yeah. I was a jerk.
What a jerk.
I was a jerk. Don't do that. I'm just saying, don't do that.
What a jerk.
But I remember like I did that, and then some girl wrote a note and broke up with me. Like we were in like a computer lab, and she wrote a note, gave it to me, and I read it in computer lab, and I just like stuck it underneath like the computer keyboard, like which was attached to the computer itself.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just read it, stuck it there, and I was going to get it like before I left, and it like slid all the way underneath the computer, and I couldn't get it. Like, and so
the teacher that had to clean out, or the janitor, or whoever had to clean up for the computer.
Yeah.
See a breakup note.
Yeah. I had a couple of girls. I remember I had one girl that wrote like that had a crush on me that like I had zero interest. Like she was in my choir class, and I remember like it was like right before Christmas or Thanksgiving break, and she came up and gave me this note like as we were leaving out of the class the last day before Thanksgiving or Christmas break, and it was like the last class of the day, and she gave it to me as I was walking out, and then she just left. And I'm like, okay, I just stuck it in my pocket, and I didn't even look at it until like I was in the car, like we were going out of town. And like I finally pulled it. I was like, oh yeah, I got that. Like somebody gave me this. I pulled it out and while we were in the car, and I'm looking at it, and she like wrote me like this real long, heartfelt
love poem.
Like it was like a love letter. Hey, I really like you, and blah blah blah. I'm like I know like we've hung out a couple of times, and we've gone on this choir trip, and blah blah blah. I'm like,
look at you.
I'm like, don't really even want to acknowledge that I got this. I'm just gonna pretend like I lost it
somewhere. Yeah.
And so this is the really awkward part. This is the super awkward part. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together until just this moment. Just this moment. My gosh. So that young lady, we went to my wife's 10-year high school reunion. Oh my gosh.
It's one of those God, you gotta love the unanswered prayers.
Oh my gosh. We went to my wife's high school 10-year reunion. My wife graduated with a guy that had a crush on her.
And they're together. Shut up.
I'm dead serious.
Shut up.
And so here's the deal. We were at this high school reunion. It was at a barbecue joint in East Texas where we grew up. And we went to rival high schools. And so we went to this high school reunion. This guy comes up to Mindy, and then lo and behold, this chick
walks up beside him.
Walks up behind him, and she is like,
says, "Hey, baby."
She says, "Oh my goodness." And he says, "Hey, I just want you'll never believe this." He said, "I had a crush on you the whole time we were in high school." And
telling Mindy this?
Yeah. I'm like, you better back off, jerk.
I'm about to ball my fist up in your face.
And then she's like, and she's just over there.
Like, yeah, cool.
And she knows that I'm a youth pastor during this time too, and all this, and they're asking where we live, and at that point we were living down close to Austin and all that. And it's like, oh, we go down down close to Austin and go tubing all the time. Hey, next time we're down there, we should all get together. I'm like, what are you like? What? No.
Negatory.
And it's like, we don't go that way. We're not into that.
We're not a swingin'.
Oh my goodness. So yeah.
Did she acknowledge that you were there?
Yeah. Like I think she even said something about how she had a crush on me.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's super awkward.
It was super awkward. Oh gosh. Yeah.
So I think I've told this story. I know I've told you like in our just everyday talks, but I was dating this old girl, and I guess I caught her putting her breakup note in my locker. I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And so my locker was right next to the trophy case.
Yeah.
Well, I startled her so much that she hit the trophy case and all the trophies fell. And so when I got in my locker and I got myself, I saw the note and I started reading. I was like, well, that's what she gets for breaking up with me, is tearing up all the trophies. But no, that was fun. That was in junior high. I thought that was hilarious. But no, yeah. So
That's kind of ironic that a trophy such as you would be right there by the trophies.
I know.
By the trophy case.
I know. It is ironic. Ain't it? It's funny how life plays out sometimes.
Trophy bro over there by the trophies, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I didn't have a whole, like, to get a note like that was very rare for me. But, like, I
Like
had
a breakup note or just a note in general?
a note like that I got, like, that somebody actually had a crush on me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I had a couple of girls that, that we talked and stuff like that. And
Did you like fold the notes to where they looked like envelopes and stuff like
no,
that?
I didn't do all that. Like, I had some that did that to me, but I wouldn't
I
know.
mean, that's the thing. Because
stuff.
that's before really phones.
Like MASH. Like, you
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do all that.
That's like, before phones came out. So we always had to pass letters back and forth.
Yeah.
And so,
No, we weren't. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was what was Mindy's school's name?
Pine Tree Pirates.
And so that was your rival, huh?
That was our rival. Like our senior year in football, we beat them, and that was like our claim to fame. Like in the last moment. Like
Is that the one that you snapped the deep snap?
Yep. In the last seconds.
Did anybody lift you up on your shoulders?
It wasn't me. It was the kicker.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
And
our kicker. Here's the deal. Like he couldn't. He was our
centers
punter
never
too.
get the respect they deserve.
Yeah. Our kicker was our punter too, and so our punter couldn't straighten out his arms like normally, like you can stick out your arms like this, like straight out. Our punter could only like do like 45 degrees, and so which really screwed me as a deep snapper on punts. Because he couldn't like get a full extension if the ball was up high. So especially like my junior year, we played at Stephen F. Austin. Like our first game, we were backed up to the end zone, and I had a high snap, and it went over his head. It wasn't like crazy high, but it went over his head. And I feel like if he could have extended his arms all the way, he could have been able to catch it.
Right.
But it went over his head and out of the back of the end zone. And who gets the blame? Not the
guy that can't straighten his arms.
Yeah, not the guy who can't straighten his arms. The guy who could straighten his arms all the way and did it too much and went over the punter's head.
Yeah.
And I got all the flack.
Oh yeah.
So, no, but he sure could kick it out of the back of the end zone when it went over his head.
Yeah.
So,
well, I guess wrapping it up here. I guess if you could go back, would you?
yeah, I think I would.
I would too. Like I said, I just had so much fun. And that's what I've told, because I have a incoming freshman, and I was like, dude, just he was worried about it, and I was like, your friend group's about to change.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna be. You're gonna just live life and have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, do your schoolwork and have fun with it.
Yeah. I think I lived my life a little too apprehensive when I was in high school. I think I would have been a little bit more, but not a little bit more dangerous, but a little bit more
Carefree, kind of.
carefree. Yeah. Carefree, I guess.
That's how I was. As long as I've made my grades,
Yeah.
Everybody was happy. But man, I didn't. Like, if I wanted to go out and have fun, like, I would go out and have fun with my friends. And it wasn't, and I say go out, just go and hang out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not
like my senior year, I did, but I was a type that I wasn't the type that would stay out late. Like, my parents never gave me a curfew or anything like that because, like, I was home by 9 o'clock or 9:30.
one of those people.
But, it's just because there wasn't, in my hometown, there wasn't really anything to do
Yeah.
after that.
No, we just had, the circle. Then we had, like I said, we had the Joneses. And so we were.
Like, I would go to everything that the school had to offer. Like, I would go to the soccer game. I wasn't into soccer, but I had some friends that played soccer. And so I'd go to soccer, even if it was freezing cold.
Yeah.
But, like, the game was over at 9, so 9:30. We'd go do something afterward, but by 9:30, it was over. I'd just go home.
Yeah.
So,
Well, buddy, what's your win for these last 2 weeks?
Man, the win. Man, there's.
I mean, something we always do is
yeah,
the win aspect.
always.
Win, win, win.
Well, there's been a lot of big life changes in my family, so
That there has, buddy. That there.
So for me, the win for us is that we just took a ginormous step of faith. For us, I basically quit my job.
Yeah.
I resigned from my position at our church, and just to take a step of faith and just to trust the Lord. I'm not stepping out of any. I'm stepping out of my position as the youth pastor at our church, and not stepping into anything. Just trusting that the Lord is going to provide us with whatever He has in store. My wife is keeping her job. My kids are staying where they're at. We're staying here in our community. We don't really feel like God's calling us to go anywhere, but for us, we are super, super excited about what God has in store, which really doesn't make sense to a lot of people. It's my son's senior year, which in our minds means that we should be stocking up some money for him to be able to go to college and all that. But for us, we consider it a super win. There's like an incredible peace about what we're doing. And so for us, we like think of it as a home run.
Yeah.
And in fact, we think of it more than a home run. It's almost like a grand slam, just a win for us, because we know this is exactly what God's calling us to do. And so it just doesn't make sense to a ton of people, and it scares a lot of people. But to us, we know that this is just exactly what God wants us to do, and we're doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess for me, I'm not gonna lie, these last 2 weeks have been really trying for me, like just personal, but just to know that God has been there every step of the way, and He has shown His faithfulness, He's shown His mercy and love, and just to lean on Him really, really hard these last 2 weeks. It's just a wonderful reminder that He's always there. And like I said, I know that kind of sounds soppy and mopey and all this stuff, but I mean, I feel like I've been in a battle, and so it's just to have that reassurance that God is there is just the most wonderful feeling in the world.
Yeah, it's that reminder. I talked about it this past Wednesday. It's Psalm 18:19. He rescued me because He delights in me.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like it's not His duty or His obligation. It's because He delights in you.
Yeah,
and it's just that reminder of that is, man, it's such a joy. It's such a boost.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so, I mean, and without Him, it's just it wouldn't have been possible. So,
yeah.
But yeah, man, that's all I got for today. I mean, like I said, we could sit here for hours and probably talk about school memories and all that, but
yeah. So I can't do a back to school thing and not. I know we quoted Billy Madison, but my favorite quote of Billy Madison. I mean, and you kind of alluded to it. Where were we when we were at? You had all of those ladies eating out of your hand. Where was that?
At church camp.
It was at youth camp.
With all those ladies at UTBU.
Yeah, all those ladies, and they were like, "You can't do this, but you're such
what, baby?
You're so good. You're such a good-looking young man.
Yeah.
I'll be your snack pack.
Yeah,
I'll be your snack pack.
Hey, it works in my advantage, baby.
You can't.
I let it be my snack pack.
I'll be your snack pack.
I loved it.
All right, well, until next time, we'll check you out. I'm Caleb, this is Kit, and we're the Trophy Bros.
Enjoy your school days.
Thank you for listening to Trophy Bros.
You can reach us through email at trophybrospodcast@gmail.com.
Make sure to also check us out on Facebook.
And if you like our podcast, make sure to like, share, follow, and rate us.
We're the Trophy Bros, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.